everybody, and welcome to our top 10 quick comic picks. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our really quick show where we go over about 10 of the biggest and best books that are coming out this week we think you'll want to know about. So when you head into your comic book store, you know what you're in for. So, some really big books this week.
This is a big week, yeah.
Everybody came out swinging. So let's get into it, and no surprise what our first one is.
First one is Ultimate Spider-Man #1. This is our first main book in the new 6160 Ultimate Universe, featuring a 35-year-old Peter Parker who is married to Mary Jane with 2 kids, but doesn't have his spider powers yet, and that's a whole thing. That's a whole thing about this issue that you'll learn. Peter's at the Daily Bugle with some other supporting characters, which you might be familiar, which you won't be surprised to see, and also maybe one that you will. And it's basically just kind of a day in the life of Peter. He's thinking about maybe making some changes in his life, and then, well, you'll just have to read to find out. But it's super great. A very good start to, I think, what's going to be a really awesome new Spider-Man book.
Yes. Yeah, it's hard to say a little about that book.
Yeah, it's hard.
Next up, we have Action Comics 1061. This is the beginning of the Superman Superstars, where each 3 issues is going to be a different creative team, and we're kicking it off with Jason Aaron telling this awesome Bizarro story, which it's a Bizarro story you've never read.
That's right.
It's very different, but still uses a lot of the kind of tropes of Bizarro in a very interesting way. So if you're looking for a good time to jump onto Action Comics, this is a great opportunity.
Next up is Zorro, Man of the Dead #1. This is from Sean Gordon Murphy. His interpretation of Zorro, kind of in the modern day, a young Diego witnessed his father getting killed by a drug cartel, so he basically spends his life training because he idolizes the mythical hero, the legendary hero Zorro. He spends his life training to be like him so that he can take down that drug cartel that killed his father.
Next up, I've got Rise of the Powers of 10, or Rise of the Powers of X. This is the next in the kind of back and forth books that are chronicling the fall of X. And this is very interesting because this actually jumps 10 years in the future. I don't want to give away too much, but the lineup of the X-Men has changed quite a bit. And it's not looking so good for them. This is kind of their final assault to try to get back onto Earth after being exiled from Krakoa. It may be crazy, it may be pretty confusing, but by the end, you'll kind of see where it's going. So I'll give you that hint. Yeah. Stay till the end.
Next up is Giant Size Spider-Man. So this is the first of several different giant size books that we're going to get throughout the first half of this year. This one featuring Spider-Man, Miles Morales, going up against Venom, Dylan Brock. Spider-Man has tracked down a gang who is selling high-tech weapons to a warehouse. He's about to bust in and get him, but Venom has been tracking them as well. They team up to take down this gang, but then they inevitably fight each other. The art is really great. This is a fun one-and-done comic with Spider-Man and Venom.
Yes. And next up, I've got Transformers #4. This series keeps getting better and better. This issue has action. It has like heartfelt moments and surprises all together, with a last few pages that are just incredible and super unique. Like you said, it feels like you're watching. It's so familiar, like you're watching an old cartoon. But these are not your daddy's Decepticons. They do some rough stuff.
Right.
So if you're not reading this, I think it's one of the best books coming out currently.
Definitely. Next up is Green Lantern #7. So this one's a little bit less action-packed than #6, which was my favorite single issue of 2023. But we do learn why Sector 2814 is quarantined and why Hal Jordan is there. We learned what happened with Kilowog after the surprise ending of the last issue. And the story is far from over. There's more mysteries that are set up in this. Just another really solid issue of Green Lantern.
And next up for me, I've got Star Wars issue 42. So this is, we're back out of Dark Droids and continue on with a little bit of a storyline that happened before where Luke was attempting to cleanse a red kyber crystal. And he got kind of pulled into this like force vision of this ancient Sith Lord. And we return to that place in a very interesting way that's setting up a very intriguing story that is feels like it's going to be full of surprises.
And last for me is Miguel O'Hara's Spider-Man 2099 #2. So if you don't know, this is actually a weekly series. The first issue just came out last week, and each issue is a one and done. So this week's installment features Spider-Man 2099 versus Dracula on the moon. Like they just fight each other on the moon. Moon Knight 2099 it figures in a little bit, but yeah, just Spider-Man versus Dracula on the moon. One and done
Good
story.
time.
Yeah, it's a great story.
Next up, I read Wolverine number 41. This is Sabretooth War Part 1. So this is a big story they've been leading up to. It's supposed to be the most over-the-top, violent Wolverine comic you've ever read. Sabretooth has been gone for a long time during the Krakoa era, but he is back with a vengeance and a team that is coming after Wolverine and the other mutants. So don't miss this one if you're interested in seeing another throwdown with Wolverine and Sabretooth. And that is it for our top 10 quick comic picks. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to head over to infinityflux.net where you can order these comics right now. Pre-order upcoming comics to get 10% off everything you pre-order. And yeah, give us a like, give us a follow here on YouTube, all that good stuff. And until next time,
See ya.
see ya.